Skip this intro. It was a snowy weekend here at Quiet Corner TV, so I went to the king of trash movie streaming service, Tubi, and I decided to check out Special Needs Revolt. Obviously not a serious movie. I know that these people's idols are Troma and the Toxic Avenger especially, is very obvious in this movie. But first of all, it's a movie with an all Down syndrome, all special needs cast. Great, I'm all for that. It should not take 17 minutes to get to the opening credits of this movie. Just because you have an extra chromosome doesn't mean extra running time. You have to learn how to edit your film. Horror comedy is huge, but it should be like 80 minutes tops. And this movie is 2 hours long. It is a slog. So what's it all about? Billy Bates. He's Down syndrome, and now he's down bad because his bitch grandmother, who he lived with, gets run over by a car dressed as a reindeer. So literally they're throwing that at you. So Billy gets thrown to a group home. He's with, his people. And they apparently like to party it up. He slips on puke at a party, hits his head, and winds up in a coma and wakes up in the future. So they're really taking a lot from Futurama here. So he wakes up in a world where Down syndrome people are put into concentration camps. And this is all because of newly elected President Donald J. Kruger, who is a very thin parody of you-know-who. Even though he doesn't look at all like Trump, he actually kind of looks like the tall man from Phantasm. So Billy rounds up a gang of people. They become like revolutionaries who are going to fight against this guy. He's got his fellow cripples. He's got a couple of strippers. He even recruits this wrestler whose name is Fart Bomb. And he's really, really a ripoff of the Toxic Avenger. So much so that the origin story of Fart Bomb is introduced by Lloyd Kaufman. Lloyd Kaufman is the director who created the Toxic Avenger. Hail Troma. So yeah, it's all meant to be fun tongue-in-cheek stuff, but it's not. It is just it is work to watch. It's like you're going to your kids' middle school play, like you're trying to be supportive, but like you'd really rather be doing anything fucking else. You will be reaching for your phone. So congrats to them for trying to be a Troma-lite ripoff. I want to be supportive because this is super low budget and they're trying to find a unique angle, and they do, but it's just not entertaining. And in a Troma movie, how are you going to have a character who's a stripper with these giant fake tits and not show them at any point in time? Like, that's Troma rule either number 1 or 2. You got to have the blood and the beasts and the boobs in there, and this just doesn't have it. This is kind of a movie where you can search it up on TikTok and you can see the most amusing 30 seconds. And there are a couple decent jokes in there. There are some funny bits, but it's nothing beyond searching for it on TikTok, scrolling by after 30 seconds. So skip this. So out this week, just in time for Christmas, is Song Sung Blue. First of all, when I first heard about this movie, I thought this was a movie about Neil Diamond. Turns out, this is a movie about a Neil Diamond cover band. Okay, that makes it even a little more interesting in my mind. And what I didn't know is that this Neil Diamond cover band actually, at one point in time, opened up for Pearl Jam, and that's in this story. So you've got something really weird that I never heard about because I don't know anything about Neil Diamond beyond Sweet Caroline. So the name of this cover band for Neil Diamond is called Lightning and Thunder. And you've got Lightning, played by Hugh Jackman, and you've got Kate Hudson playing Thunder. Lightning is an ex-alcoholic. He's been off the bottle for 20 years. And Thunder is kind of your stereotypical single mom, except she has like a golden voice. And I think this is really Kate Hudson singing in the movie. And if that's the case, I didn't know. She can fucking sing. So right off the bat, you got 2 huge stars. You got Hugh Jackman, you got Kate Hudson. Also in this movie, there is like a Quentin Tarantino cast list of stars past who really like jump into these little roles and are super good. You've got Michael Imperioli. That's Christopher Moltisanti, if you don't know. He is like the friend slash Buddy Holly impersonator. He's great. His manager is played by Fisher Stevens, who is from Short Circuit. Remember Johnny Five? And you got Jim Belushi as their like tour bus driver. Red Heat, 80s classic. You've got these guys who are like kind of coming out of the woodwork. I haven't seen them in a while. And they're playing these character bits in this movie that are just like, every time they're on screen, you're just like smiling. Everybody in this movie is so fucking likable. And of course, halfway through the movie, tragedy strikes. Kate Hudson's character gets hit by a car while she's just planting out in the yard. It's a fucking literal lightning striking kind of a thing. Like, who's that happened to? Oh, and all this is based on a true story. Interestingly enough, so all this really happened. So get out your tissue box for this movie, because this is kind of like an emotionally cathartic movie. I know some people will watch sad movies because they're like, oh, I need a good cry. Well, when this one comes to streaming, get ready, because you're going to need that box. And as I said, the music is fantastic. I knew that Hugh Jackman can sing. He's a Broadway guy. I didn't know about Kate Hudson. She can really sing. The songs are all Neil Diamond, so they're good songs. I'm going to say, I didn't know them all. I only knew like one or two of the big hits. And this movie does a good job of introducing you into his music and his lesser known songs and why they're important. This is for sure going to be one of the Oscar contender movies. When the time comes in February, I don't know what they're going to be up for. Probably everything, because this movie hits on all cylinders. But like I said, it's sad. You got to be ready for the emotion in this movie. So know that going into it. Because like I said, I didn't know anything going into this movie. And obviously, if you're a fan of Neil Diamond, this is interesting for you because it's a story about his music without you getting to know anything about Neil Diamond or even seeing him in the movie. He's not even in this. So if it's still in the theaters while you're seeing this, go see it in the theaters. And when it comes to streaming eventually, definitely tune in. Poor old Snotface, Elizabeth. In the course of her lunch break at the beginning of the movie, she gets fired, she gets cheated on, her car gets stolen. How could it get any worse? How about having to move home with your mom? It's more than just the worst day ever. And what could make it even worse? She goes home and she gets reunited with her imaginary friend, Drop Dead Fred. So, is this movie a Beetlejuice light? Kind of. It's more a movie about like your inner child and your childhood. So Fred is not the asshole that Beetlejuice is. He's mischievous, but he's just like a little boy. He's mischievous in the way that like he goes into the yard, gets dog shit all over his shoes and stomps it all over his mom's carpet. I kind of got the vibe in Beetlejuice that Beetlejuice might rape Lydia. And of course, Liz just wants her douchey husband back. Now, yes, he's really a douche. He did cheat on her, but I see that he did cheat on her with Bridget Fonda, who was at peak hotness around 1991 when this was made. And all along the way, Fred is there to cause chaos. He manages to sink a riverboat-sized boathouse of her friends. He manages to get her committed into a mental hospital and to be monitored by a linebacker-sized nurse. Though all along the way, it's surprisingly heartfelt. Carrie Fisher is in this movie, and I know Carrie Fisher was famous for punching up movies and scripts, even ones that she was in. She was a really talented writer too. So I don't know if there's any proof of it. It just kind of felt like it as I was watching it. I was like, oh, I wonder if she added to any of this. And in this movie, there's a whole world of Drop Dead Fred, other Drop Dead Freds. There's a whole world of invisible best friend characters. And I think that's like ripe for expansion. Somebody should get on that. Or even if they made a remake, I get the idea. I would like to see Paul Bettany as Fred. I think for whatever reason, he's got the look, and I think he could pull that off. So if you can overlook the 1991 kind of special effects, they did try some CG, which kind of really sticks out here from 1991. There's a reason why this movie is a cult classic. it has a lot going for it. So if you've never seen Drop Dead Fred, if this is the first time you're hearing it, or even if you haven't seen the movie in like 35 years like I haven't, go back and revisit it. It's a good time. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching Quiet Corner TV, Red Hood Movie Reviews. You keep coming back, I'll keep watching, and I'll keep talking. Talk to you later.